The FBI has become a political punching bag. First, it was Hillary Clinton supporters alleging the FBI helped Trump win the 2016 election with the announcement of her investigation being reopened 11 days before the election. And now, of course, Donald Trump and his supporters claiming the FBI is biased against him with the Russia investigation and now with the search at Mar-a-Lago. And then there's former Democratic Congressman T.J. Cox, who was arrested earlier this month, also alleging it's not evidence but politics that got him indicted on 28 counts of fraud schemes.
Politics is a tough game. I wouldn't be in this position today but for the politics, and I think we all know that.
Now, Attorney General Merrick Garland is trying to do what he can to make it clear the Justice Department is not politically motivated. He unveiled new restrictions yesterday banning political appointees within the department from attending any partisan political events. Campaign rallies and political fundraisers are now off limits. Previously, DOJ policy allowed non-career political appointees, those who are hired by the administration, to attend political events in their personal capacities as long as they participated passively and obtained prior approval. But the new restrictions make appointees subject to the same rules as the DOJ's career employees who are prohibited. The announcement comes as we're 69 days away from midterm elections and as the department is seeing unprecedented political scrutiny. Ever since, of course, the FBI's August 8th search of Trump's residence at Mar-a-Lago. Garland saying in part, quote, "As department employees, we have been entrusted with the authority and responsibility to enforce the laws of the United States in a neutral and impartial manner. In fulfilling this responsibility, we must do all we can to maintain public trust and ensure that politics, both in fact and appearance, does not compromise or affect the integrity of our work." But is this going to change anything? It won't stop people from bashing the FBI and its Republican leader, Christopher Wray. I guess it could avoid some potential headaches and can avoid providing fuel for allegations like those made by former President Trump, who, for example, attacked former FBI director, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe for attending events for his wife, who unsuccessfully ran for Congress in Virginia as a Democrat. Trump made the couple a constant target. In 2017, he tweeted, "How can FBI Director Andrew McCabe be given $700,000 campaign by Clinton puppets during investigation?" I don't know. Is it going to change anything? Joining me now, former U.S. attorney appointed during the Trump administration, Jay Town. Jay, thanks for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so
Dan, always. Always good to be with you.
So is this going to have any real impact?
Well, you know, these are Hatch Act issues, this policy, and I don't know that this was ever really a problem. I can tell you that I think this, you know, people are going to find fault in just about anything that General Garland does right now, or the FBI does, at least out of Washington. And so, but you know, and that's fine. And there are some criticisms that are at least legitimate to discuss. But I think that is the sort of skepticism that General Garland is trying to address with these memos. And so, you know, I don't think this is political theater or posturing, but I also don't think that the Hatch Act is violated very often. So I'm not sure that it's going to sort of rein in these criticisms of the Bureau.
I mean, there is a little bit of a silliness behind the idea of your spouse, right, is running for office. And it's like, oh, I can't attend an event that my spouse is having because, you know, like, oh, okay, you're not biased for your spouse who's running for office, right?
Oh, I'm not saying that there's not a number of things in the Hatch Act that are sort of full of folly. You know, I had a great picture of me and President Trump where we were sharing a laugh. And in 2020, which was a presidential election year, I had to remove it from my office, even though it was in there for 3 years prior to that. So, I mean, there are certain things that you're right. You know, we think they have a greater impact than they do. But I do think it's also important, Dan, and this is an important point, that the Justice Department and the FBI and all the agencies inside of DOJ recognize that there is a perception problem.
Yep.
There is skepticism about what the agencies are doing. And to address that, let's just not have any more issues. Let's not have U.S. attorneys going to DNC fundraisers. Let's not have people in the FBI going to political events. That at least won't have any further damage.
I think that's fair. We'll call it a small step forward. Fair?
Fair enough. Yes, sir.
Jay Town, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
Coming up. Has Donald... Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.